Where do I begin? Okay, so if you've been following me, if you are subscribed to my channel, you probably know me as the Notion girl, or even before that, the business coach girl. And before that, I did many other things. And I used to be those things and probably still are, but something happened to me that made me change my life quite drastically. And that has all led to, well, this moment here of me talking to this camera about healing my nervous system and just in general about nervous system, which is something I did not expect myself to talk about, to be honest. So I thought I would start this video by explaining to you how I got here, how I went from having a business, being super productive, being always hustling, always working, to not working at all. Like I literally quit my business. I put my business on hold for indefinitely, basically, to focus on healing my nervous system. And the reason for that is something that happened to me in Cape Town. So I went to Cape Town on a business thing, actually. So my boyfriend, he is an AI entrepreneur. So he has a YouTube channel on AI, but basically he and a few others AI content creators online, they have this big group together, and once every 6 months we go meet them in a different country and they organize an event. And this time was in Cape Town, so it was with amazing people, like was very luxurious, like amazing villa, all these events, bougie trips. Like we went on a boat, we went on safari, we had like a very professional conference. Everything basically was arranged for me. I didn't really have to do anything but just be there. But the interesting thing is, I don't think I've enjoyed a single moment of it. And I know that sounds very, very presumptuous, and I really don't mean it like that. I just mean that I was trying very hard to enjoy it. But from the inside, I was just so completely overwhelmed every minute of every day. So I had been tense for almost 2 weeks there in Cape Town. I know it is a very unsafe country for tourists, like especially in Cape Town, there's a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of like mugging, people stealing things from you. So I knew that before I went there. And then it happened anyway. So me and Dave, my boyfriend, we got ice cream at one of the main streets where it's, for the most part, it's safe to walk there, especially during the days. And we went there at night. I think it was around like 8 p.m. or something. We went for ice cream, and from the ice cream parlor, it was only about like 5 minutes to our apartment. So we thought, we'll just walk. I completely forgot that during the night it's just not safe to go outside and walk there. And that's on me. Like we just forgot, because we do it all the time. Like during the day, we would walk up to our apartment. Like I said, it's only 5 minutes, and then it was nighttime, and I just forgot that we should have taken an Uber. So we didn't. We walked up, and there was this like alleyway, which was also like stairs. So it was quite small, and I was first and Dave was behind me. So I walked up the stairs, and as soon as I walked up, there was this guy coming from above, basically. And he was rummaging in his bag, and then I was walking on the left side, he was walking down, and somewhere in the middle of the stairs, we kind of passed each other, and he was standing still, and he looked at me. And as soon as he looked at me, I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like you have bad intentions. So I saw him get something from his bag. It was a pepper spray. And I kind of like played dumb and said like, oh, no, sorry, I don't have a lighter for you. Like just to buy me some time and also make sure that Dave was aware of the situation because he was behind me. And then the guy said, oh no, he was super awkward, by the way. He was like very tiny, very small. And he was like, oh no, this is pepper spray. And if you don't give me your bag, then I'm gonna spray you with this. So it was so sad. Like honestly, it was a really sad moment. Obviously it was very scary, but I don't know, I just felt like he really didn't want to like rob us. So it felt really weird. Like this guy, he was so small, so tiny, and so scared also. And I was like, I just really don't want to give you my bag with my phone and all of my photos, which had not uploaded to iCloud yet. So I was like, I don't want to give you that bag. And I think Dave had the same thought. So then I just started to like slowly turn around, see if I could go downstairs. And Dave walked up to me, and then I said something like, run. And I literally said run. And I said it in English, not in Dutch, which wasn't the best choice, but anyways. So I turned and I started running, and I think either I fell or this guy, he pushed me down. Like, it was okay. I didn't get hurt that bad. I have a few scratches here on my arm and on my feet and a sprained ankle. And so while I was running down, Dave was basically like holding his hands like that and pushing the guy away from me. And then we just ran for it. And it was honestly, like, it was such a weird situation because normally you would think like just hand over your stuff, but this guy was just so sweet, really. Like, he was so awkward in threatening me, really, with his little pepper spray. So it was a weird situation. Like, could I have handled that differently? Yes, I could have. In the moment, you don't really think about that. So I don't know. This is what we did. We ran for it, and thankfully we all got away relatively okay from it. And from there, obviously we ran away. We went back to the main street, and Dave was all like fired up. He was full of adrenaline, like, whoa, oh my God, what happened? Like, all fired up. And that's when I realized, like, oh my God, I do not feel like that at all. Like, my body is still the same as it was before. Like, obviously I'm a little shaken up because it's a weird situation, but my baseline did not change. Like, I did not feel adrenaline through my body. I felt like the exact same as I did before, like that. And that's when I realized that is weird. That is not supposed to happen. And before I went to Cape Town, I was already doing like some nervous system work. I worked with a breathwork coach. For the past couple of months, I felt depressed, or at least I thought I was depressed. And that is why I turned to more spiritual practices. And basically this breathwork coach, this woman, told me like, hey, before we go into like any of these things that you're dealing with right now, you need to find a way to heal your nervous system, because you cannot do the work from a dysregulated nervous system. Your nervous system needs healing. It needs to feel safe. Your body needs to feel safe in order for you to let all of those other things in. So I already knew before I went to Cape Town that my nervous system wasn't okay. But I don't know, I guess life just happened from there. I eventually felt like my depression was caused by me not feeling fulfilled from my work. So I actually fired my clients, and I wanted to focus on my own business. In my head, I thought, if I have enough time, if I can focus on my own business full time, not just my clients' businesses, but my own business, I will start to feel happy again. That is why I quit client work and I started launching my new business. So I actually started a course, a Notion course on how to create your own second brain. And I almost finished it, actually. Like, I made a whole funnel. Like, I made a product page, I made a checkout page, I created an email flow. I literally recorded the whole course, which is almost like 7 hours of footage, and I edited like half of that. The only thing I needed to do in Cape Town was literally continue editing it and then publishing it. That was all I had to do. And then this happened to me. Then this guy almost mugged me. And the realization hit me that I need to sort out my priorities. I need to get my priorities straight. And starting a business or building a business is not my main priority right now. Because knowing what I know now, I think me trying to build that business or me trying to launch that business came from a place of unsafety and trying to control my life through pivoting over and over again. Like, I can't tell you how many different businesses I've had. Like, I started as a law student. I have not one, but 2 law degrees. Like, why? Then from there on, I had a fashion store, an online fashion store. I did freelancing in several different niches. I started blogging. I did Etsy for a while. I got certified as a business coach. I've done consulting, I've done ads, I've done marketing, I've done pretty much everything there is to do in the online business space, I've done it, and it never stuck with me because I've realized that chasing success is my form of trying to create safety for myself. So in my head, I always thought that if I have a successful business, then I will finally feel safe. And I've realized now that that is not how it goes. If I want to feel safe, I have to feel safe first. It doesn't come after building a business. It is the basis. So I just grabbed my iPad here because I want to explain to you a little bit of the biology and the science behind this and what happened so that you can hopefully better understand what it means to have a dysregulated nervous system, because to me, I had no idea what that was. So in order to understand what happened with me basically being like calm and cool after the mugging or attempted mugging, and Dave being like all in this adrenaline rush, I want to explain to you the 3 different modes of your nervous system. So you have your safety mode, which is basically you in your default mode. So you're calm, you're safe, and you're just chilling basically. And then we have your survival mode, which is you in a high stress situation. And people usually refer to that as your fight or flight response. So the third one is the freeze mode or the shutdown mode. And if you have a regulated nervous system, you will switch between the 3 like constantly. Like you will go from feeling safe to feeling a little bit stressed to going back to safety to maybe sometimes going into freeze mode. And you do that like constantly throughout the day. So your default is you feeling safe, and then sometimes you'll enter a mode of stress because something happens to you. For example, with Dave, when we almost got mugged, like before that, he was in his safety mode. Then when that guy came up to us, he immediately went into survival mode, like he went into fight or flight, and he opted for a little bit of fight and then flight mode. And that is basically how that works. So you switch from the 3 different modes a lot throughout the day. However, for some people, like me, the default mode is not safety mode, but it's survival mode. So if you, for a long period of time, do not feel safe, not in your body, not in your environment, your body will start to go into survival mode as the default mode. And if you do that for long enough, your body is just working. It's working overtime, and suddenly it just shuts down. So how I like to think of it is you're on your laptop and you open like many different apps, and then suddenly your laptop starts to make all of these noises, it starts to get hot, and it just like the mouse will change into this like loading icon, and it just doesn't do anything anymore. That is literally your laptop going into shutdown mode, like that computer, like your computer just shutting down. Your nervous system shuts down and you enter the freeze mode, and you start to experience like all of these side effects from that. So knowing this and looking at my life through the lens of a dysregulated nervous system, a lot of things started to make sense to me, like a lot of things. And again, I'm just gonna use my iPad to make sure that I say everything correctly. So I've had a lot of like health issues over the years, and I cannot even remember for how long I've had them, but it's a long time. I have been dealing with a lot of like headaches, neck pain, and tension and jaw clenching. And apparently if you are in this survival mode a lot, your muscles stay very tense. Like even during the night, your muscles stay tense, and that is why you can experience like these headaches and neck pain, for instance. Also, I've been dealing with a lot of bloating and gut issues for, again, I don't even remember how long, and that also can have to do with a dysregulated nervous system, because if you are in survival mode and freeze mode a lot, your digestion starts to slow down because it is not a priority to digest, because the priority is the enemy that your body thinks is there, which obviously is not there most of the times. But basically it means your digestion starts to slow down, which is why you have all of these gut issues that I have. Now, I also often get sick. Like for example, right now, I don't know if you can hear it, I'm feeling a little under the weather right now. And I usually always have that after I come home from a trip. So it doesn't surprise me that I feel sick right now. But if you often get sick like I do, that can also be because your immune system is a lot weaker if you have a dysregulated nervous system. Like everything ties together. Another thing, I am very severely affected by my PMS symptoms. The week before I get my period, basically, I have the worst PMS symptoms. And I mean like mental symptoms. I don't really have the physical stuff, mainly just like my mind is going crazy, basically. And apparently, if you have a dysregulated nervous system, your hormones get disrupted because you are in chronic stress. So stress is also a hormone, and that can disrupt like the whole process of your period, which can ultimately worsen PMS symptoms. And another thing that I've been dealing with is waking up tired. Like I sleep, I have an Oura ring so I can track my sleep. I'm not even kidding you. I sleep like 10 hours, or I am in bed 10 hours a night, like every single night. I go to bed around like 9 and I wake up between like 7 and 8 usually. I never sleep well. Like I will always wake up tired. And I could never understand why, because I do everything right. Like everything you see in Andrew Huberman's podcast on sleep, like I do everything. I go to bed early, I read, I do not check on my phone. I don't watch like TV. I just literally, I read, I take supplements, I do it all. And still, I always wake up feeling tired. And I could never understand why. But it actually makes so much sense. Because if you have a dysregulated nervous system, I have to say this correctly because for me, it's a little complicated because I'm new to it. Sleep basically means you have to surrender yourself. However, surrender requires that you feel safe. Otherwise, you don't want to surrender, if that makes sense. So, if you don't feel safe, you cannot fully surrender to sleep, which is why I am a very light sleeper. Like every movement, every sound I hear, I'll wake up. And I always thought I was just a light sleeper, but apparently it's because of this. Like I am not able to fully let go, which makes total sense because that is exactly how I feel. Like before I go to bed, I literally have to listen to an audiobook, and I'm not even kidding you. I listen to Harry Potter, an audiobook from Harry Potter every single night. I have been doing that for, I think, almost 4 years. So I don't even listen to them because I want to listen to them. Like I've listened to them so many times. And I am a Harry Potter fan, but I just really like the voice of the person who does the audiobook. Like he's so calming. His voice is just so calming. And it's safe to me because I've read the stories, like I've seen the movies, so I know what's about to happen. So I guess that's why I go back to these audiobooks all the time, because I've tried everything. I've tried meditating, I've tried like these healing frequencies, but nothing works except listening to Harry Potter. And my friends actually always make fun of me, like, how can you do that? Like, it's so weird. Now it makes sense because without it, I just cannot fall asleep because my mind takes over. I'm having all of these thoughts, like it's insane. I'm having all of these thoughts that make no sense, clutter my head that basically block sleep altogether. So that is apparently also part of this dysregulated nervous system theory. And it's so interesting to me. I see the data, and every time I see that I'm in bed for 10 hours, like my ring will track that I'm in bed for 10 hours, but I've only slept like 7 or 8 of those 10 hours, which means I've been awake for 2 to 3 hours every single night. And that is such a waste of time. Like imagine I could have 2 to 3 hours more sleep every single night. But I don't because I get woken up so much. And I don't even remember that. It's not that I feel like whenever I see the results of my sleep, I'm not like, oh yeah, that makes sense because I know that I was awake for 2 hours. I never have that. I don't even realize that I'm awake that much because it's these little periods of time that I just forget about them apparently. And it's because I'm such a light sleeper, because of my nervous system that is dysregulated, that I keep waking up. So everything ties together, and it is so insane to me. Like it's so insane. It feels like this is a solution to all of my problems. It's not, obviously it's not, but it's been such a revelation to me that all of these things that I thought were just part of me and I just had to accept that it's just the way I am are hopefully fixable. So that's all of the physical stuff. I also have mental issues, and Again, this makes total sense, but if your body doesn't feel safe, neither does your brain. And that is why I suffer from anxiety. Like, I have a lot of anxiety, especially when I drive to a location that I've never been to before, when I have to park. Like, I hate it. I don't know why, but I'm terrified of parking. I think a lot of women have this, truth be told, but I get so anxious. I get anxious during travel. I get anxious in Cape Town because everything is unfamiliar. So for me, everything feels unsafe. So that feeling of anxiety, it makes so much sense now. And another thing that has been a big part of my life for the last couple of months is a depression. I thought I was depressed, and maybe I still am. Like, I don't know. I haven't gone to the doctor and have had myself tested, but I felt like I was depressed. And then I read the symptoms of being in that freeze or shutdown mode, which I'm just going to read them for you. The symptoms of that freeze mode can look like low motivation, flat emotions or numbness, feeling disconnected, brain fog, and exhaustion. And I'm like, that's literally me, but that is also a big part of the symptoms of depression. So again, I was like, and I've also noticed it in my behavior. I have been launching business after business after business, and always launching, but never actually becoming visible. So for me, that means I would build entire landing pages, I would build entire websites, have logos, have color palettes, have the copywriting, have everything set up. And then at the moment of like launching the business, like telling people about it, showing myself online, I would not do it because I would always think of something, some reason as to why I should do better before I launch. Like, it was never enough for me. It never felt like it was perfect, and I always wanted to improve whatever I was working on. And I think I am someone who has very legit arguments for a situation. So I would always argue with myself, okay, but you now have this, but if you launch now, you'll run into this and this and this problem. So it's better to postpone the launch and make it more perfect first, and then we move over to launching. And that's basically my life. That is why I think I've pivoted so many times. And I was just always looking for like that one thing, my one true purpose in life. And I could never find it, because I think this has all to do with the fact that I am not in a place of safety. Like, I do not trust my body. I don't feel safe in my body. And my nervous system shows the exact same things, which is why my business kind of is a reflection of that, if that makes sense. So that is why I decided to put my business on hold, like indefinitely. And instead, I am going to prioritize healing. I am going to dedicate my full time and energy to healing and regulating my nervous system. And because I know how fortunate I am to be in a position where I can do this full time. Like, I know that you all have responsibilities. We all have responsibilities. And I've been there. Like, I was not ready to start regulating my nervous system even after having heard from a breathwork coach that was like the main thing that I should focus on. I thought, it's okay, I'm just gonna push through it. So I get it. I totally get it. And that is why I decided to document this journey, so that you don't have to dedicate like all of your time to it. You can hopefully maybe just watch my videos, watch these vlogs, and learn from them as I go on and learn these things, if that makes sense. So yeah, I am not an expert. Like, I am not a coach in nervous system healing or whatever. I'm just someone who has come to a point in life where it is not an option to ignore my dysregulated nervous system any longer. So I'm going to, again, dedicate my time to it. I'm going to prioritize it. I'm going to focus on healing, and I'm going to take you with me in real time. So this is real time. I do not have the answers yet, unfortunately. I wish. But I'm going to film them. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to try out different methods, learn new things. I'm going to take a couple of courses on it and show you my key takeaways. I'm going to do all the work so that hopefully you don't have to, and we can start figuring out like this whole nervous system thing together. That is my hope and my dream for us. So, without me rambling on for another 30 minutes, I would say let's go into the first vlog.